Nickelodeon just save all my old childhood shows because, man, I didn't know I could miss Invader Zim so much. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing Invader Zim Enter the Florpus. This is the return to Invader Zim himself, a show that I have been greatly missing from the last couple of years. As a kid, this was one of the shows that I kind of felt weirdly watching. Like, it was kind of crazy and disgusting at times and quite disturbing with the sci-fi and horror tones that they kind of mixed into the show, but the humor itself was always so clever and nice that it always made to be one of my favorite shows as a kid, and especially even growing up. It's a show that's really gratified and kind of greatly appreciatedly grabbed me to a lot of my friends. Like, a lot of my friends and me kind of bonded over this show, and as the second this movie started, I found myself just sitting there going, man, I love this show as a kid. And I loved it even more right now. Really can't believe, like, I missed it, especially when it went off the air, but I miss it even more now. Like, going back, and I really hope that we actually get more Invader Zim, because this is the perfect start back to this Invader Zim franchise, and it really feels like it had never missed a beat. It feels like for myself that I had just returned to a lost love that I had not seen in forever, and that we just rekindled this love that we used to have so long ago. As I said, Invader Zim is one of those wild shows that, for me as a kid, it felt more mature, even when I was younger, and it was darker, and most of all time, maybe it was something that maybe I shouldn't have been watching at that time and age, and that there were disturbing images, but still something that I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Because of the sci-fi, the horror, and the weirdness of everything entailed within the Invader Zim show, and even the mythology of Zim, added it all up to be a very unique show. The movie here, again, doesn't skip a beat at all. It is one of those things that I really had a blast with this movie, and I love that Netflix is taking all my old childhood shows and bringing them back to life. Yes, the animation in here, I mean, we can just say it's stunning, it's incredible. Even in the original show, it was kind of unique to its way, in the way that they can move the characters around, but this one takes it to a whole nother level. Obviously, being way down in the future, you get more technology to kind of add to the animation. You can definitely feel it with all in here, especially in the opening scene, which is totally an homage to anime, and there are a couple little homages to anime throughout the whole entire movie. It is something like, my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, this is really unique. There's a lot of nice callbacks and Easter eggs as well throughout the whole movie that kind of just threw me back into that nostalgic mode of, I remember this. Even with nostalgic moments, sometimes it doesn't always work when something comes back to be fruition. Something that we learned last week in Rocko's Modern Life's TV special that they kind of brought back also on Netflix, which I was a big fan of. Maybe not all of you guys were, but the thing that I really liked about that is how Rocko really talked about by the end, he was kind of talking about it, saying they're like, well, this isn't my thing, this isn't my show. And that's how we are in our society. When something comes back that we are such big fans of, whether it's maybe Star Wars or maybe some of even the Marvel characters and DC characters going about nowadays, some people don't love what they're doing with them and even the franchises, and Rocko kind of spoke to that. But also Zim, sometimes when you go back to these, they're not always the best, but that's the special thing about Zim, is it feels like it's still Zim. There's a lot of that, especially because of the humor. I mean, can we just talk about the little bits of dialogue, those small subtle moments that I found myself personally laughing so much throughout this, and maybe a lot of that is because of Gur, because Gur has always been one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite cartoon characters of all time. But it's not just Gur, it's Moose, it's the tallest, it's Dib, it's especially Gaz. I love what they do with Gaz in here, and of course it's Zim himself. All of them having subtle humor to them, all of them adding to the mix of this cartoon and really bringing back that aspect of what made Invader Zim so special. So within Invader Zim Enter the Florpus, Zim discovers his almighty leaders never had an intention of coming to Earth, and he loses his confidence in himself for the first time in his life. It's his big break for his human nemesis Dib has been waiting for. Just from that synopsis alone, it kind of hooks you in. Also, the thing about the story is that it actually represents what's so good about this protagonist and antagonist that we've been following for so many years. It's points that I've never truly realized before, and it actually puts a different whole perspective while having the twists and turns and the insanity that is inside this world. Plus, can we just talk about the action sequences? Adding into the animation, the action sequences in the original were always, again, unique. But in this one, again, having that new same feel of the animation, and of course bringing in that new car smell for that old kind of car that you've been kind of towing around and been in love with since you were a kid, it kind of just feels for it as well. And again, the action is just so gratifying. Before I get to my final thoughts, guys, on Invader Zim Enter the Florpus, make sure to hit that like and subscribe subscribing if you guys are new here, because I do tons of early movie reviews, geeky content, entertainment stuff, all on a daily basis. And of course, I want to hear from you guys. What is the Nickelodeon show that you guys definitely want to see coming back on the screen? I asked this last week, and a lot of you guys gave a lot of good perspectives. Personally, for me, I want Angry Beavers or Cat Dog, because I think they could do some special things there. So if you guys want to check out films early, make sure to go check out Sandwich on Films down below, and a big round of applause for all my Patreon supporters, because without them, I wouldn't be here. This is show more than I knew, and this short little film that they hit the nail on the head so well with. There aren't really any other cartoons out there that are like this nowadays, and in general, even back then. This is the last of Zim that we might ever get, and if it is, I'll understand and I'll be appreciative of everything that has happened. It's hilarious, it has beautiful animation, of course it feels like the show had never ended, and I love this show. It's one of my favorite cartoons ever developed. Invader Zim fans definitely shouldn't miss out on this, and even if you're one of the people who've always wanted to get into Invader Zim, this is a nice little touching film. While you might not understand all the little callbacks here and there, of course there's always that nice little wit to it as well. It's unique, it's clever, and of course it might be a little bit disgusting, it might be a little bit crazy and kooky at times, but that's what made the show so unique. Little moments that Invader Zim always hits is also something that no other cartoon show has ever been able to hit for me as well. This is just another thing to add into the sci-fi genre, something that sci-fi is such a wide, vast of a film and even television genre that there's so many different IPs inside here. Invader Zim is definitely one of the most unique ones, and Enter the Florpus adds into that. The movie might even be better than Chicken and Rice. Some of you guys might not get that unless you've seen the movie, but definitely you know what I'm talking about. So all that said, I'm gonna give Invader Zim Enter the Florpus an A. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Invader Zim. Were you guys impressed with it? Were you excited for it? Are you guys disappointed in it? Let's talk about it down below in the comments. Obviously, you guys can tell I'm so excited about this. I'm actually recording this at midnight my time right now because I just finished the show and I wanted to dive in and talk with you about this, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Good morning to all of you who guys are checking this out. Thank you guys again so much for watching this, though. And until next time, stay classy.